Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday, everyone. This is a unexpected, pleasant surprise to be here with each and every one of you today on this amazing Thursday. For that matter, the very last Thursday in April. My goodness, I cannot believe I'm actually saying that we are in the last Thursday of April. We've already gone through 4 months of 2026. I'm super excited to be here with each and every one of you. In case you do not know who I am, let me introduce myself. Let's go through the shamil. I am Reverend Dr. Joanne Barry Cologne. I am the founder of Wholistic Fitness and Why. As someone who has guided women in releasing emotional weight without dieting while holding space as they gain confidence and courage to step away from their 9 to 5, outdated relationships, and old subconscious beliefs. The W in holistic is about the whole person: your body, your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, your soul, and your spirit. And I'm super excited to be here with you today to hold the space for you, to provide insight, wisdom, knowledge, not just to hear myself speak, but to actually provide you with information that you can actually implement into your everyday life immediately. You do not have to practice. All you really have to do is observe, take notes, and apply into your everyday by taking action. All that being said, I want to ask you to take a minute to go ahead and share out the show, which is what I'm about to do as well. And we're going to have an interesting conversation. I'm going to do my best in keeping it short because I know that each and every one of you do have things going on in your day. And I'm just going to invite some folks in, see who's around, if anyone, because I know it is afternoon hours, and maybe or maybe not, you're available. And if you are, that's awesome. And if you're not, that's okay. I love how it's so fun. Anyways. So today's topic, as I titled today's topic, about life is a game of chess. What exactly does that mean? In fact, I don't think I've ever played a game of chess in my entire life. I've watched people play chess. I've listened to people talk about chess. I myself have never really had the honor of playing chess. But I do know that when someone does play chess, they do not just suddenly move their little pings. I'm going to call them pings. It's very, very specific and very key oriented, which is what life really should be. And in theory, nothing we do in life should ever be just done. It should really be thought out, intentional, and understanding your why. So those are like the three basic keys I want you to pay attention to: is think it out, set an intention, and define your why. Because reality of it all is, if you don't understand your why to anything, whether that why is related to why you get up every day at the certain times that you do to do whatever it is you're doing, why you are committed to getting in a 25 to 30-minute workout with strength training, why you are committed to eating multiple times a day, why you are committed to connecting to your business partners, why you're committed in the relationship you're in, why you're committed to your health. When you define your why, that definition of your why is going to be the very thing that's going to keep you going. Now, the one thing I know to be true is being in the health, fitness, wellness, and nutrition industry for over 4 decades, anyone who defines their why based on a number on the scale or a BMI number, that why is definitely not going to be something that's going to keep them motivated in the long run. Because once you reach that goal, the next thing is what happens then. Although the topic for today is not really about your health, fitness, and wellness, however, it can really be about your health, fitness, and wellness, depending on how this hits you. What I would like to talk a little bit about which I've been doing for a couple of days now. If you've been following me, and if you have not, I encourage you to go and check out my maybe last 2 days of videos on my YouTube channel where I'm speaking about your navigation system, your what I also like to call your astrological makeup, and some call it your blueprint as well. And yes, I'm speaking of astrology. Astrology is not the woo-woo. Astrology is a language. And it's a language that many of us do not understand unless we take the time to actually study the language. The language definitely is composed of planets, houses, and your zodiac signs. And every one of us has every planet connected to us. Every one of us has all the zodiac signs connected to us. And we all have the 12 houses as well in what's known as your natal chart. I truly believe that we should be given our astrology chart from the moment of birth. That the moment you're born, your mom and dad should be handing you a natal chart, or they should have a natal chart so they can better understand how to navigate the relationship between them and you. So today, what I really want to tap into is the understanding of the moon. Why the moon? Well, to start off with, the moon is one of your three big zodiac signs. Again, if you follow me on a regular basis, you've heard me say, do you know what your three big astrological signs are? And that would be your sun, your moon, and ascending sign. And why are these the three big? Because they're the baseline to who you are, why you're here, and how you're here to express yourself. So to break it down really quickly, the sun energy, which is our birth sign, everybody knows their birth sign. If you were to ask anybody, oh, what sign are you? When were you born? They're going to tell you whatever that birth sign is. Those of you who were born in late March to about mid-April, you are Aries. And those of you who are born from mid-April to mid-May, you're Taurus. Just to give you an example. And that is our sun energy. And the sun energy is who you're here to become and how the sun is shining on you. When you really think about it, typically speaking, the sun's shining on to help you see who you are here to become. It's the bright light to help you become who you're here to be. When we talk about your ascending sign, or known as your rising sign, which is the time, the very exact moment of when you were born, what zodiac sign was at the horizons at the very moment of time you were born. And that energy is a representation of who you actually are when someone sees you. So if you walked into a room, that's the energy they're picking up on, as opposed to your sun, your birth sign. And then your moon energy is how you feel, how you express how you feel, and also your self-expression. It's your feelings. And why I'm choosing today to speak about the moon's energy, for one, the moon rotates every 2.5 days. When we speak about our astrological signs, we're speaking about 4 different elements based on our astrological sign. So we have fire, and the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We have earth, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We have air, which is had a brain fart there, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And then we have water, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So wherever you fall between those elements, and most of us have all of those elements based on all of us have all of those elements in our chart. We may not have all of those elements in our big three, though. And that really defines a big portion of how you express yourself. So if you're like me, where I have my sun in Pisces, which is water, and then I have my moon in Aquarius, which is air, and then I have my ascending sign, rising sign, which is Cancer, which is water. So if you know that I just said I have two in water, one in air. So that makes me an emotional being because of my three big signs. Now, of course, there's more to the chart in itself other than those three signs that's going to define what your element is. But it's the baseline. So when we think about the moon rotating every 2.5 days, and today, until a certain point today, I'm going to give you the timeline. I like to do that. Today, up until, oh, actually, it's already happened. So this morning we started off in a Libra moon, which was air, and now the moon is in Scorpio. It enters Scorpio at exactly 3:02 p.m. So now it's in water. So when we think about Scorpio energy as a water element, and Scorpio in itself, Scorpio, when we think about it, is really about transformations. It's about depth. It's about truth and the emotional intensity. And I'm going to go back to that word transformation because when we think about Scorpio, Scorpio is about things that come to an end. It's about a completion and it's about a transformation. So we can refer to that as ending a project. So there's a completion to it. So we're transforming something. It could be about ending a chapter. So a chapter is done, a cycle is done, so we're transforming. Everything's going to lead to that transformation when we speak about Scorpio energy. Scorpio is also very much about the hidden energy, the things that go on behind the scenes in reference to the dark side of things, like the shadow work, so to speak. And if you've done any type of healing work on your journey, you're very familiar with the expression working through your shadow side. The shadow side is something that we go through, we work through in order to process what we need to heal based on whatever traumas we've experienced. It's almost like the dark side to the light side. And we all have both. Because in order to get to that light, we have to work through the darkness. There's no other way of really going about it. In order to get to your light, you need to work through your darkness. And that's that Scorpion energy when we think about it. In addition to this moon's energy, it's not your typical moon energy. As we, again, if you understand, there are moon phases, and we are literally moving into the phase of the full moon. Now, full moon is about how we release things, what we need to let go of. And in the process of letting go of things, the full moon also illuminates whatever energy that really needs to be released. So, with that being said, I want you just to think about it for just a moment. Even if you have absolutely no idea what your moon sign is, which you don't need to know what your moon sign is in order to understand what you may be in the process of working on releasing. What is being illuminated for you? And what is the emotional peak of this energy at this moment of time? And I find it so interesting that we have this full moon coming in, and it's going to be at its peakest at 1:23 p.m. on May 1st. And I love the fact that it's at 1:23 p.m. And if you're like me, a numbers person, you know that that number 123 is a representation of everything's going to be in perfect order at the time when the moon is at the fullest point. So when we think about the full moon's energy, it really is about the logistics and the psychoticness when we think about it. And you ever hear the expression where we would hear people say we always know when the moon is full because quote unquote all the Looney Tunes come out, and I'm saying it nicely that way. Well, that is so true because when we do have a full moon, no matter what zodiac sign it's in, it does stir up some deeper layer of energies. So now, I was curious for myself regarding why I decided to come and share this information with you today is when we think about the full moon, and in this particular case, the Scorpio energy, and if you happen to know what your moon sign is, and if you don't, that's okay. It's interesting to define and understand what the connection, the correlation is with your own personal moon sign and how this Scorpio full moon plays with it, or for that matter, goes against it. Now, there's certain aspects that we call where the energies of each zodiac sign is either working together or working apart from each other. And two terms I want to use today. One would be an opposition, and that just means that depending on the energy of your moon sign and the Scorpio moon, you may have an opposition, such as what I do, and I'll share that in a moment with you. And or when we have the two zodiac signs, the full moon and whatever your moon is, they're working together. And regardless of the situation, whether it's an opposition or a conjunction where they work nicely together, at the end of it all, we want to use this energy for our most highest good. So when we think about the Scorpio full moon energy, that moon may very well bring to your attention what is being hidden to the surface, what's avoided into awareness, and what's outdated that needs to be released. And when we think about this energy of the Scorpio moon, that's exactly what you want to be asking yourself. And this is a perfect day for it because we are so close to the weekend. And as this moon does become its most peak, will be on Friday, May 1st. And I'm loving it that again it's at 1:23 p.m. And I'm loving the date altogether because when you really look at the overall date, May 1st is at 5/1. 2026 adds to be a 10, which is another one. So you really have this energy of the 7. And 7 is really about reviewing your agreements to all that there is. What agreements are you in, whether it's professional agreements or personal agreements, an agreement with a intimate relationship or a personal relationship? What agreements do you have? And are those agreements still being fulfilled? Or are those agreements outdated? And you might be asking yourself, well, how do I know if they're being fulfilled or outdated? Well, if they're being fulfilled, it means there's joy and excitement and curiosity to the agreement with the person that you're working with, whether it's on a personal, professional, or intimate level. And if not, it feels like there's constant friction, that you're always in battle with each other. So these are things I want you to really pay attention to because with this moon that we're in, the Scorpio moon, this is an opportunity for you to see what's hidden and what's coming to the surface, what you're avoiding and where you need your awareness, and what is outdated that needs to be released. So this moon is actually helping you to do this work. Now, when we speak about moon energy, specifically a full moon or even a new moon, but in this particular case, it's full moon energy, we feel this energy 3 days before it hits the peak, and then 3 days after it's hit the peak. So when you really think about it, we have a 7-day period where we're actually feeling the energy of this full moon. In this particular case, is Scorpio, a water sign. And I wanted to emphasize that again with Scorpio being that it's a water sign, your emotions may be a little overwhelming, to say the least. And understanding your big three, again, your sun, moon, and ascending sign, may help you to define why you may be more in your feelings based on this water moon energy. So again, when we think about this energy, now I'm just going to give you an example based on my own moon energy, because again, I can only speak on me. Now, when I work with clients like yourself in my play shops and one-on-one, I help them to really define how their personal moon energy plays with not just the full moon energy, but our everyday energy as well. Because again, the moon rotates every 2.5 days. But so for as of today to about Saturday late afternoon, the moon will be in the water energy, and then eventually the moon's going to move into fire energy, which will be Sagittarius. So we're going to go from emotional into intensity, explosive, expansion for that matter, because the Sagittarius energy. And when you understand each of the zodiac signs, then you can get a good feel of how it will play a role in regards to the moon's energy. So again, based on comparing the Scorpio full moon with my Aquarius moon, and Aquarius is again air, so it's intellectual, it's evaluating, it's research, it's curiosity, but then it could be the overthinker, the analyst, except for that matter. So based on my Aquarius moon, it's the observer. It's about detaching, and it's about future focus, and also emotionally intelligent, not always expressive. Processing of feelings, it's a logic perspective of awareness, not depth first. So when we think about Scorpio's moon's energy, Scorpio is really, again, as I said, it really is about the transformation. It's about the depth. It's about truth. It's about the emotional intensity, where Aquarius, as mentioned, it's the observer. It's detachment. It's future focus. And I'm sure you've heard the expression with Aquarius where we're always thinking outside the box. So the comparison between the two, and how to utilize these two energies again with the full moon being in Scorpio and my own personal moon energy, where again, what Scorpio says is feel it, go deeper, don't avoid. What Aquarius says, on the other hand, is let me understand it first. I don't need to sit in it. And then this creates this internal tension and also evolution. So I wanted to come and share this information with you and give you an idea of how this energy, as I mentioned, I titled this show all about life is a game of chess. And where every single day you may feel different each day. And a big part of it is, again, you may, again, because we woke up this morning with that Libra moon, and now here we are 3 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, and the moon is now in Scorpio. So you might have woke up this morning being more about bringing things into balance, justifying things, and analyzing our agreements. And now here we are in the Scorpio energy, where it really is about, what do I need to release? Where do I want to transform? How do I want to transform? Now, again, a lot of this plays a big role in regards to, are you working more from your intellectual, intuitive side of the brain, or you're working more from your logical side of the brain? And that, my dear, is the reason why it is so important for you to better understand your astrological makeup, also known as your navigation system, and your blueprint, is to better help you move. What next move do you want to make to be in perfect alignment to what it is you're looking to do, logistically speaking? Not just to wake up and just randomly go through your day, where when you intentionally create from the state of being intentional, you're more likely to get the result you're looking to get because you have logistically set out an intention to creating that result. And that's extremely important when we think about it in regards to wherever you are right now on your journey, whether you are in the process of looking to create something brand new, whether you are in the process of wanting to go into a deeper relationship, maybe you're looking to do some traveling, maybe you're looking to go back to school, maybe you're looking to start a family. And the whole process, when you think about it, is to understand that your navigation system is totally aligned with your physical body and totally aligned with your nervous system. So when we are not aligned and we are doing things that sort of out of alignment to our journey, that's where we get distracted. That's where we get overwhelmed. That's where we get what's the word I'm looking for? Symptomatic, because we're not in the alignment to the direction we're looking to move in, and that's where all the physical symptoms show up. Because, as I always like to say, our body is our greatest teacher. Our body is always letting us know when something's out of alignment based on whatever physical symptoms may show up for you. And whatever those physical symptoms are, note that every physical symptom is very much associated with a specific body part and also very much associated with a specific zodiac sign and planet, for that matter. So when we think about, as we are still in, well, I should say we're in Taurus energy now. I was going to say we're in Aries energy, but we've been out of Aries energy for about, oh my God, quite some time. So when we think about Taurus energy, Taurus is associated with the throat. Taurus is associated with the shoulders. And it really is about that connection that we have in regards to how we communicate. So if you're finding that you're struggling with, let's say, getting your words together, maybe you're experiencing some discomfort in your throat, coughing, maybe laryngitis, that's all that Taurus energy. Taurus energy is also about being able to slow down and be more grounded and focused and more stable, which may also call for you to be outside more to connect with nature, because it is about grounding your energy. And the more we ground our energy, the more we're going to be aligned and be able to really make that connection with the moon's energy in reference to what it is our next move is, energetically speaking. And as we go through this process of what is your next move, what chapter of your life you're in. Now, again, I had mentioned in my videos over the last 48 hours, when we think about planetarily speaking, we have 5 planets currently sitting in Aries energy, and Aries is fire. So that energy, in theory, is all about helping us to take action and be very expansive. But because it is fire, you may also be feeling like you're tired because, again, how that corresponds to your own personal system couldn't be actually making you really tired. Now, I hear from many people that they are tired. It's like they want to go to bed earlier and they're waking up and they feel like they're just tired. And when we have 5 planets sitting in one zodiac sign, yes, that is going to be tiring. Now, ideally, even though there's 5 planets that are sitting in Aries energy, unless you have those 5 planets where they're in the exact degree of where they are collectively playing a role on your chart, you're probably not getting the intensity, or should I say getting the intensity of what it may sound like, even though there's 5 planets transiting over Aries energy. So, and then we also have 3 planets currently transiting over Taurus energy, where we have the Sun, we have Venus, and actually, that is not true. We don't have that over Taurus energy anymore. I am misspeaking. I want to give you the right information. So let me give that information correctly because we're on the 30th already. And we do not have Venus and Uranus in Taurus anymore. We actually have that in Gemini at this moment in time. Talking about air signs. Oh my God. Besides for my personal air sign of Aquarius, we also have again Venus and Uranus sitting in air, which is Gemini. And that's going to be for a different video because I don't want it to expand out to too many things at one time. My whole purpose here is to help you navigate and really get a better understanding to how your astrological makeup plays a big role in reference to, like we said, chess. What next move are you, should you be making so you can actually create the best outcome for you? And how our astrological makeup, our navigation system, is very much associated with our nervous system as well. Because when there is just too much energy going on, such as we have 5 planets again in Aries, that's a lot of energy. It's like, think about it, it's like trying to plug in, put everything in all the outlets. And if you don't have a lot of wattage in those outlets, something may blow out, right? So think about it in that way. Think about it in that way. So here's an invitation, a call to action. If you are the least bit curious to what your 3 big zodiac signs are, that really defines your entire chart, your sun, moon, and ascending sign, you're the least bit curious to learning more about that and to really allow yourself to position yourself for success, fame, recognition, travel, great relationships, wealth, abundance, everything else, and even health. I'm inviting you to come join me for the Astro Insight Play Shop that's taking place on May 24th. And we are currently still in the promo price. We're up until, I think it's May 1st, which is tomorrow. You can get the workshop for $97. Thereafter, tomorrow, the price goes to $127. And their space is limited to 6 people. And I keep the classes small because it really is a personal class, and I really want everyone to get the most out of the class. So when they leave the class after that time that they're with me for the 2 hours, they can really implement what they're learning from that class, because that's how easy it really is to understand your astrological makeup, that you can really navigate right into immediately, even if it means that you're walking away understanding your moon sign and how to use that energy, from day to day, and remembering that every 2.5 days that moon is shifting. And I'm sure you're very familiar. You've probably heard me say it, and maybe I heard other people say that when we talk about the moon, it's like Mondays are ruled by the moon's energy. And it's so funny that Mondays are ruled by the moon's energy, because Monday, ever hear the expression, the Monday blues? And that's a real thing, because out of every day of the week, the average person wakes up on Monday morning a little out of sorts. Now, again, we can relate it to that they're out of sorts because they just had a long weekend, Saturday into Sunday. They were busy. They didn't get enough rest that their body needed. So when they wake up on Monday morning, they're just, or we could really relate it to the fact on where is that moon on Monday morning. And do understand that the moon changes, it rotates at different times. Like Floyd said, when we talked about today's moon, we woke up this morning with a Libra moon, so we were in air energy, and now it's 5:00 p.m. Eastern time, and we are in a water moon, which is Scorpio. So just in a matter of like morning time to now, we've we've shifted from air into water. And now we'll be there until about Saturday night. I'm going to give you the specifics. We will be in the water sign until until about 2:33 a.m. on Sunday when we move into Sagittarius. So just as you go to bed Saturday night, in the middle of the night or early morning, the moon is going to be rotating out of water and into fire. So that's definitely a lot to like go to bed one way and wake up another. And just an FYI, in case you're curious, on Monday, May 4th, the moon will be in water in fire energy. So get ready to wake up on Monday morning, but like, wee, because of that fire energy. And again, depending on where you have your moon sign and how that plays role. Again, based on my energy as an Aquarius moon, which is air, and our Scorpio full moon, which is water, it really is that energy of asking in reference to Scorpio. It's about the transformation, it's about the deep depth, it's about foods and the emotional intensity. That's Scorpio. And when we talk about the full moon's energy, it's the illumination, it's the releasing, and it's the emotional peak. So during this full moon at 123, where it's going to be the peak, pay attention to how your emotions are and what's going on for you over these next 2.5 days as we experience the Scorpio full moon energy, and how that plays a role for you, how you respond to different people. Now, when we think about our other water signs, such as Cancer and Pisces, so if you happen to have your moon sign in a water sign, you may find that this may be a very emotional weekend for you because that's a lot of water. Now, if you have your moon sign in fire, remember that we also have Aries. We have 5 planets sitting in Aries, which is fire. And if you have your moon sign in fire, that can make this weekend quite interesting because of all that fire energy. And then on top of it, that's Scorpio energy as well. So really, allow yourself time to, for our fire energies, allow yourself time to move your body. Because with fire energy, you may have a lot of energy that's sitting in your body that needs to come out. So for my fire signs, I'd recommend that you move your body. So just right here, that fire energy doesn't get stagnant and then shows up as anger or frustration or aggression. Those are my fire signs. For those of you who have water as your moon sign, a Cancer or Pisces or Scorpio, you may find yourself being extremely emotional this weekend. You may find yourself being more sensitive than usual this weekend. So allow yourself to feel your feels, be in that feeling. And I'd recommend doing some journaling. So if there is something that you're in your feelings about, you can get them out on paper. And because you are water, now it's interesting because even though my moon sign is not water, it's air, I do have a lot of water in my chart. Now, most of the time, as astrologers, we would also always suggest somebody who has a water moon sign to go by water, to go sit by water, because being by water or connected to water helps to calm you down and helps to release that emotional energy. So if that works for you, either go sit by water, bathe, take a nice bubble bath just to be in that water to help you relax. Because again, all of this is about learning how to calm your nervous system down so it doesn't get overwhelmed. Now, if you are somebody that has your moon in air, such as me, this may cause you to again be in the process of observing and detaching yourself. So during the Scorpio moon, you may find yourself wanting to be left alone. So this may not be the weekend that you might want to do socializing. You may not want to get together with your friends. You may not want to go to that party. This may be the weekend that you might just want to be alone. And if you do find yourself going to an event, you may find yourself just sitting back and observing as opposed to interacting. And I know that might sound a little odd for someone who might be a Gemini, because you like to chit chat, you like to socialize, you're that gift for gabbing. But with this Scorpio moon, full moon energy, it may have you sitting in your emotional highs where you might just want to find yourself being quiet. Okay. And then of course we have our earth sign. So if you happen to be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn moon sign, it could very well have you to the point where you're feeling a little sluggish, you're feeling a little distracted. Because again, it's the opposite when we talk about it. It's a denser energy with the Scorpio energy because it is a water sign. And water signs, based to any of the other zodiac signs, it brings up the emotions. And if you're not really good with processing your emotions, that's going to show up. But the other zodiac signs, the other elements, in a denser energy. So for my earth energies, again, similar to, like I said, with fire, where they need to move their body, earth energies may need to get out into earth and may go and need to like literally put their behind in the dirt to connect with the earth so they can be more grounded and more focused and more intellectual, as opposed to be anxiety ridden. So I want you to pay attention. I want you to become more awakened and attuned to how you respond to this energy. And I always say that knowledge is power. And when you don't have the knowledge, it's okay to then not know. But the minute you have the knowledge, now it's time to apply it. And here it is, and I'm providing you the knowledge, I'm providing you the insight, I'm providing you strategies to manage through this Scorpio full moon. Now, from my perspective, of all the moons that we experience, based on the full moon, I would say the Scorpio full moon is probably the most challenging moons of all moons. And you might be asking yourself, well, why do I say that? And the reason being because Scorpio energy itself is really about carrying the energy of depths, completions, and transformation, and moving through the dark energy. That's Scorpio's energy in itself. And then to add to that, the energy of the moon, which illuminates that energy of Scorpio. So this is probably out of all the full moons, this is probably the most intensive full moon we can experience on a whole. So understanding that when we understand the concept of the moon's energy and how it's corresponding with your own moon energy, we can then get a better understanding of what, again, remember, life is like playing a game of chess, what move to make or what move not to make. I'm going to take a little water on that. Because not everything is about taking a move. Sometimes it's really about just being still. Being still. And I know for me, I speak about the moon's energy a lot because I think, in theory, every one of us are impacted by the moon, whether we're conscious of it or not. And because it's something that we actually can see, especially during a full moon energy. And if you understand the phases of the moon, when we go through that crescent moon, the half moon, into the full moon, new moons we don't see. So we may not really connect with it as much as we connect with a full moon. And it's just so pretty in the sky as well, especially on the intensity of that moon. It's so big. And it's just something that we can all really connect to. So I encourage you to take some time to learn about your moon energy. So that this way here, you can better understand who you are on an emotional level, because again, the moon represents how we feel and how we express how we feel. So, as I said earlier, this is your invitation to come join me on May 24th for our Astro Insight Play Shop. 2 hours will come together from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. on that day. You will walk away with a lot of information that you will be able to use immediately. Take advantage of the promo special, the early bird special, which is $97 up until tomorrow. So, of course, you have until like 12 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow to sign yourself up for the class. And otherwise, thereafter, it's $127, which is still a great price for a 2-hour course. And take your seat. Come join me. Come learn about you, because that's what this is about. This is about really understanding who you are on the soul level, so you can learn to navigate through your astrological makeup. Navigate and really discover your blueprint and how you manage your feelings. Whether, again, you're a fire sign, earth sign, air sign, or water sign. All that being said, I want to thank you for your time. I know that this was so unexpected, and I'm doing my best to come on and share a little bit more each day about this Astro Insight. Now, of course, if you yourself aren't resonating with this, yet you may know somebody that is. So pass on this video to that person. Although I would love for you to just think about this energy, because whether you resonate with it or not, we're all impacted by this energy. Every one of us have feelings. Every one of us has emotions. Some of us express those emotions with ease, and some of us do not. And the more you understand about who you are and how you express yourself, the easier you're going to be to be around. And once you learn about you, you're going to then want to explore everybody you know and discover about them as well. It's such a fun game. Again, this life, like I like to call it, living in freedom every day, it's like a game of chess. When to make the right move, how to position yourself so you can express yourself with ease. I'm going to pull a card, give you some additional insight, and then I'm going to let you get on with your day as I'm going to get on with mine. And I want to thank each and every one of you who are here. If you have not yet shared out the show, please do me a favor. Go down to, if you are on your computer or your phone, there's a little arrow to the bottom of your device. Tap on that, and that's going to allow you to share. Share it out to your friends. Let them know that I'm here. And even more so, as I'm sharing my flyer for the Astro Insight Play Shop, feel free to send that out to your friends too. Whoops. There's our card. Love it. Such a perfect card. Want to see if we can see it? There we go. We have the orange. The orange is really about, interesting enough, I love how everything does come to full circle. When we talk about our sacral chakra, which is the second chakra, that is very much associated with your womb. And your womb energy is very much associated with the moon. And when we think about the womb energy, the connection that we do have, not only with the moon, but the connection that we do have with all the females in the world and in our life, your mom, your sisters, your cousins, whomever, that energy is a huge connection. So I want you to pay attention to that, on the connection you do have with your mom, or maybe a lack of connection, whatever it may be. How are the emotions? How do you feel about that connection? When we think about the affirmation, it's the Queen and King energy. The Queen and King energy is all about receiving and doing. How are you receiving and what are you doing in this energy? As women, and I forget what year it's become such a really big thing, where so many women have taken over the power of manifesting, manning. doing all the work to do, which is another reason why our astrological makeup is so important, because we really want to get more into alignment of the woman festing, where we're open to receiving as much as doing. So that queen and king energy, again, a game of chess. When do you want to make your move? The number 2 is a representation of the partnership that you do have with the moon's energy. How to use the moon's energy, how to make that connection, how to connect with that vibration in regards to whatever zodiac sign the moon's in. Remember, again, the moon rotates every 2.5 days. You already know now that the moon is in Scorpio. So if you go to your calendar, write the word Scorpio on today's date. And you know that 2.5 days from now, that moon is going to move into Sagittarius. And that will stay there for 2.5 days. And then for 2.5 days more, that moon will move into Capricorn. And then by the end of the week, the moon will be in air, which is Aquarius. And then it will work its way into Pisces. And it will start all over again. And if you remember the cycle of the moon, and you understand your moon sign, you can see how they work together, or in a slight opposition of one another. Whatever the case is, I want to thank you for your time, and I hope you got so much out of this. I hope this is resonating with you in one way or another. I'm hoping that you're getting really curious about who you are from a soul level. I'm hoping that you'll be one of the 6 women that come and join me in my Astro Insight Play Shop class, so you can learn. We can come together for those 2 hours and see what you walk away with. So until we meet again, as I always say, enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Thursday. And also remember, when we talk about Thursday's energy, what a great day. It's all about Jupiter energy. So this is a fantastic day to focus on how can you expand into the knowledge of this full moon energy of illumination, releasing, and getting into that space of your emotional peaks. When is your emotion at the highest? What are you illuminating? What are you ready to release through the Scorpio energy? Until we meet again, bye-bye for now.